another category of questions that's kind of similar to here is about sort of a more granular factual knowledge, things like trig identities and just tables of information that ultimately amount to math facts. And so
Right.
so okay, so a common question is like, should should you be supplementing the Math Academy system with like spaced repetition cards where you write down like math facts and then do spaced repetition on them? Now that there's ideally you should get a lot of this repetition practice from the problem solving itself, provided that you are actually trying to recall this from memory, doing your best to recall this from memory, only peeking back at notes or reference material, just the tiniest peek after you've strained as much as you can to remember, and we're not able to.
And strained as
Because
much
what
as remember
often,
doesn't mean you sit there for 10 minutes.
yeah, yeah,
But like, there's a difference. It's like, okay, so when someone says, I'm not sure I remember how to do something, it doesn't mean strain for 4 seconds and then like, I don't know, and go to the back of the book, right? It also doesn't mean sit there for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes. I mean, it's a little context dependent, but you could sit there for at least 30 seconds, right? And go,
hmm,
try to think about it, trying to pay like, okay, how does that work? Whether it's 20 seconds or 45 seconds, something in that range, reasonable, maybe a minute. Okay, if just a minute goes by and you're like, I really cannot remember this. Okay, fine. But don't grind your like I've had people like we've had people in the diagnostic. I had one guy said he's been working on the diagnostic for
oh yeah.
months. I was like, what? I would never have anticipated that. And he was going on Wikipedia and trying to look stuff up. And he's like, that is totally not what a diagnostic is for. A diagnostic is for what do you know now, not what you can go reteach yourself. Right? It was
Hmm.
so weird that he did that. But there have been other people. He's not the only one, but there are other people who just interpret it in that way. And it's an interpretation I didn't expect. But it happens, but it's not helpful. It's like be honest, put in an honest effort, but provide accurate information to the system through your actions, so that it
Yeah.
can adapt to where you are right now.
And now at the same time, though, it is helpful to have more practice on these underlying math facts to kind of like
Mhm.
bring them out of the problem solving context and just drill them more frequently. It's
Right.
kind of like you in if you're playing, if you're in athletics, like you don't just exercise your skills by playing games or even by doing like 1 minute long drills. There's some skills that you just have to like be really solid on, like shooting free throws. You don't practice like shooting one free throw every couple minutes like during a game or something. No, you actually go to the line and practice doing that. That's kind of like math facts automaticity practice. And so we do have plans to get math facts automaticity practice in the system, not just well, this kind of started out, we were thinking about like multiplication facts and stuff like that at the elementary grades. Like, what do we need to expand this knowledge graph even lower into the elementary grades? But we realized like, hey, we should really do this throughout all of math, like derivative rules, all sorts of table trig identities, all sorts of these facts that come up and can be practiced rapid fire outside of an
And for an
actual problem
efficient and very
solving
efficient
context.
way, because it doesn't take
Yeah,
long to blow through these.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So that's very much on our
Well,
radar as well.
automaticity, specifically math facts, is really high on our list. I mean, you did a bunch of work on this. Was this
Summer of
summer before last?
2024. Yeah,
Yeah.
summer before
Well, we
last year.
had to we had to stop. You had to work on some other stuff, but been a lot of that's clearly a hole in our learning platform, because a lot of students come to us in pre-algebra and algebra and they don't know their multiplication tables and they're not very good at fractions, and that is very
Yep.
common. Schools have been not doing a very good job of that, and they've been sort of drank some crazy, um, what do you call it?
The Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, yeah, some crazy Kool-Aid was like, oh, you don't have to memorize anything more. It's like
Yeah,
I
that's
don't. I mean,
totally false.
that's a
Yeah.
whole nother discussion. That's a whole nother discussion. It's totally wrong. It's like you don't have to practice your free throws. You'll just you just know it. Just go play basketball. It's like what are
Yeah.
you talking about? It's so dumb. But and I hear from teachers and chief academic officers and tutors, and they're just apoplectic about the situation because you get kids who are in sixth, seventh, eighth, 10th grade finger counting, don't know multiplication tables. It's like, how the heck are you going to factor quadratic when you don't know multiplication tables? You can't do it. Not really. And
Yeah.
then guess what? Now we can't
If,
factor quadratic. Now you can't do algebra.
and if you do manage to grind through like and just figuring out these factors on the fly, it's going to take you way too long. It's going to take you like 10 minutes to factor a
Which
single
some kids can do in
quadratic.
their head and be like,
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Yes,
And so you're
exactly.
not going to want to do many problems like, oh, it's three. Yeah, gave us four practicing problems. Took me all night, and you're just like,
Yeah.
dude, like
And guess
what?
what? When you get to calculus, if you're taking 10 minutes to factor a quadratic, like that's only one component of a calculus optimization problem. You're going to be spending half an hour on this problem that should take you 2 minutes.